Alrighty, hello Aquarius, and welcome to your monthly reading. I know last night, well, yes, I spent some time with you. No, I'm just kidding. Last month, you guys were just in a little bit of a shitstorm, just a little bit. But I really hope that things have turned around, and I know you guys were kind of walking on eggshells and things were just a little bit complicated, but I know you guys love to be complicated. I mean, you love complicated. Well, it's not going to come out in any good ways, like Aquarius. I'm just kidding, I love you guys. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and jump into your monthly reading, and we're going to see how things are for you. And we are going to start with your spiritual focus, which is bringing us to the Eight of Rings in reverse. And what's interesting about that is I feel like everything that you know, and this is kind of weird because I feel like this is Hierophant energy, but I almost feel like everything you know is being turned upside down on its head. And that's just kind of like the first impressions that I get for you, Aquarius. I feel like things are really majorly shifting, and things and people that you thought you knew and these relationships that you have built for so long and spent so much time building are getting turned up on their heads, I think, this month. And I think I see broken promises, honestly. This is kind of starting to seem like a little bit of a heavy reading, Aquarius, but I know from last month things were getting complicated. I know you were on the verge of just a lot of disagreements. So I really feel like this month, everything is kind of coming to a head, and that foundation, all of these things that you built, I think are really just kind of get flipped upside down. And I almost feel like telling you that the rug is just going to get pulled from under your feet. Is really just majorly what I see you at here. So spiritually focusing for you this month, I feel like, is trying to maintain your sense of stability when things are really going to be starting to seem very unstable for you, Aquarius, and you're going to really have to try to keep that composure and try to keep it together this month. Wow. So your worldly focus, and I remember I said broken promises, and I get Two of Rings, which to me is about balance and I feel like you're going to be trying to maintain this balance and this harmony between amongst your relationships, especially amongst, I feel like, just these broken promises. I almost feel like there was job opportunities that could have been presented to some of you guys that you thought was the light at the end of the tunnel, and everything just got turned upside down just in the blink of an eye, and everything just kind of changed for you on a dime and on a whim. And I feel like it really threw things off for you. So I feel like this month, I really see you focusing a lot on trying to maintain those promises and just really your sense of stability and togetherness, and trying to just stay balanced and level-headed. I feel is going to be a really major point of struggle for you this month, Aquarius, which, I mean, again, broken promises and kind of foundations getting crumbled and the rug getting pulled from under your feet. I mean, this is going to be a lot to deal with, and it's funny because your first two cards are Earth cards, which is usually about stability, but I can't help but feel this month you're going to feel just a little bit so unstable, which is ironic that you're even getting these. The lesson that you're going to learn this month is going to be in the realm of the Four of Swords. So I feel like this is going to be a month about balancing. I just see really balance. Two of Rings and Four of Swords to me is trying to keep your mind and your sense of well-being together. And I feel like where things are just kind of turning on their heads, Aquarius, I feel like you're going to be trying to balance your own thinking. There's going to be a lot of anxiety with you this month, and I feel like you're going to be second guessing is going to be a really major thing here. And again, Mercury is in retrograde this month, so your thoughts and the way you're processing things is not going to be 100% this month. So really try to be mindful of that, and just try to stay together. I mean, again, like I said, there's going to be a lot of disharmony. I mean, I really feel like it's going to be a little bit of a rough month for you, Aquarius. And I know that you've been putting everything off, and I feel like you've been kind of sweeping things under the rug and just kind of hoping things go away. But this is going to be the month, I think, that everything is going to get turned upside down, and you're going to kind of get that dosage of reality. You're going to have to really sit down and deal with the issue that you were trying to avoid at hand. Because to me, Four of Swords is telling me everything is going to come to a head, and I do see a conversation. This is not going to be a hostile one. I think this is going to be more of a very matter-of-fact, like, this is what it is, and it's going to be a very factual kind of a thing, exchange here for you with this conversation that is going to occur for you, I think, at some point this month. So look out for that. And again, you've been prepping for it, and the best thing that you can do is try to express yourself the best way that you can. Again, because Mercury is in retrograde, and the way you're communicating yourself might just come a little off. Positively influencing you is the King of Swords, which to me tells me that you have all of the right ideas and you are actually in the correct headspace to have this conversation and to be able to communicate yourself. So it's like, I think you do have, last month you weren't sure if you had all the facts together. This month you do have all of the facts together, and you are going to be able to have this conversation or be able to make things clear and give and take on that responsibility and be able to delegate and make this final decision. However, it's going to come at the cost of, again, your foundation kind of getting turned on its head, and everything that you knew is going to change. And I think that is going to be a point of dread for you this month, Aquarius, and you're going to be really debating on whether or not you want to do that. Negatively influencing you is Six of Cups, and it is how things were in your past. More, I always relate Six of Cups to childhood memories, so I almost feel like you have a sense of attachment to your home, or maybe your hometown, or your job, or your state of where you are right now. You have an attachment to it that goes back, and it's an emotional one, and it's almost like, I want to say hoarding, but it's like you're not hoarding things, but you're hoarding memories instead. And it's like you're hoarding all of these memories, and you're almost like holding on to them, and you're almost trying to ration them out and kind of think, no, maybe I shouldn't make this call, or maybe I shouldn't move forward with this, but you actually should. Six of Cups to me, you really do. It is good to reminisce about the past, and it is good sometimes to look back on our past action and those relationships and really appreciate the relationships that we had built. But unfortunately, Aquarius, things do have to change, and I do see you moving either away or moving back, or maybe having difficulty with having moved away even, and you're having all of these mixed feelings about wanting to return to the way things were. And I feel like that's really what you're going to be, the crux of the situation here, what you're really worried about and what you're really trying to work past is going back to the way things were, Aquarius. And unfortunately, things are not going to be the same. You're going to have to make some really tough calls here, and things are not going to be the same for you, unfortunately. But I mean, a word of advice is the Nine of Rings, and I mean, that is an amazing point of advice, or a great card to have here in this position, because Nine of Rings is about wealth, and it's about flourishing, and it's about prosperity above all. So I feel like really telling you, Aquarius, is, yeah, this is going to be a kind of a hard call for you to make here, and I feel like the realizations that you've come to and the facts and the information that you've gathered, it's been a little bit of a journey and a little bit of a process, and you don't want to leave these things behind because you spent so much time building them. And again, you feel like your foundation is crumbling and everything's just kind of like falling around you. But with the Nine of Rings here, this is the promise for a new opportunity for you, Aquarius, to actually make a change, and make a change that is going to benefit you to the point where it's either going to benefit you financially. This is going to be a better situation for you, or just in your sense of stability and your sense of self. This is going to be better for you in the long haul. Yeah, I mean, I think this is a great card. So I mean, it's like pulling teeth here, and it's like you kind of don't want to do this, and you're going back and forth, should I or should I not? But the reality of it is I really feel like you should go ahead and move forward and just kind of brave that uncharted territory, brave that unknown, brave all of these things that give you anxiety, Aquarius, because within that, you're actually going to find something, a little gem, I think, is going to kind of appear to you that you never really accounted for. Excuse me. Woo! That you never really accounted for before. So we're going to go ahead and move into a channeled message for you. And we're going to see what we've got here. And let us see what the gods have to say. I feel like we should cue like thunder, or like a nice effect. I'm talking shit. Alrighty, Aquarius, so let's see what we've got. Wow, it's awesome. Strength. And what I love, the strength is a Leo card. And what I feel like telling you here is be confident, and although you feel overwhelmed by what's being presented to you, you actually have all the power to take control of the situation, and that's really the greatest news about all of this, Aquarius. This is actually in your hands. You have control of the situation, and there's a point in time where I feel like you're going to look back into your past self, and you're really going to be glad that you've made this move, or you made that decision for yourself. It's all about this month for you, Aquarius, finding that inner strength and finding that confidence in yourself to move forward with due diligence without regard for what anybody else has to say. Again, I think you've done your thinking. I think you've put all of the pieces together, and I think that you've put everything together, and it's time for you to find that strength, really, and wrestle against your doubt, wrestle against your anxiety, and most importantly, your fears of the unknown, because that's just coming up really strongly for you here. There's going to be a sense of enlightenment coming for you here with the Strength card. If you, again, actually brave that. I think the Leo card here, when I get the Strength card, and I feel like Leo is all about exuding that confidence and that ferocity, and I think more than anything, Aquarius, you're going to be able to attain that and harness that, and that's what's going to get you through the rest of this month. You have everything that you need, and more, and you have all of the answers that you need. You've been doing a lot of reflecting, I see, even here, and there's even the coming of a close to something, and it makes sense. It's you're coming to this closure here, and I feel like going to the very beginning where your foundation was kind of turning on its head. This is a sign for you to really pull on your own inner strength, and let's really see, Aquarius, if you've really got the stuff to get what it is that you want. And that's what it comes down to. Nobody's going to hold your hand through this, and you've really got to be strong to go ahead and move forward. So I will go ahead and end your reading on that note, Aquarius. I really hope that helped you out, and I mean, you seem to have done a lot of improvement this month. Again, the Strength card, I think is a great card to end your reading on, and a word of advice, and it's you have all of the power to overcome the situation that you're finding yourself in. You have all of the strength within you. You just really need to tap inside and stop doubting yourself. All right, so I will see you next month, Aquarius. Thank you so much for watching, and until later.